Georgia Rose. Welcome to Georgia Rose Connection, your virtual community for life support on YouTube. I am a Reiki master, psychic intuitive, and I do intuitive life coaching and energetic readings. If you would like an energetic reading or life coaching, please go on my website, georgiaroseconnection.com. Recently I did a video about bringing authenticity to your relationships and truly being yourself in order to establish the foundation for healthy relationships. And I got some feedback from someone who asked me, well, how do you bring your true self to a relationship? Like, how do you get to the point where you know who you are and you know your true self? And that's a really big question. And so I think I'm going to do some videos about some things that may help you to learn who you really are and develop your authenticity and get in touch with your own person and your own personal power. So one of the first things, this will be the first video, and one of the first things I would say is your body never lies to you. It's one of the first things that I found when I was starting to rebuild my life after tragedy. And what happened was I didn't really know if I had a beginning point because my identity was very stripped from me by losses of people and situations and things. So the person that I always identified with and thought I no longer was. So I went back to basics. And one of the basics was that my body never lied to me. If I was nervous or unsure of a situation, or I had anxiety, or I had a stomach ache from it, or I had a pain somewhere from it, I knew myself well enough to know that was something that probably was not in alignment with me. So I kind of became an observer of my life, so to speak, and I put myself in different situations. I challenged myself. I pushed the envelope to do activities and do things that maybe I wouldn't normally have done. And while I was doing those things, I observed how my body felt. For instance, I went away to a yoga retreat. And that was something really big for me back then because I never would leave home or do anything on my own, never mind overnight. And it was like about 4 hours from my house, and I had to drive through mountains and things that I wasn't really familiar with. And that was a really big thing for me. So I really observed the whole time and the whole weekend what I felt, how I felt when I did, without really super scrutinizing myself, but just being in touch with my body, The drive was too long for me. I felt really nauseous by the end of it. I didn't want to be that far from home. So I knew I wasn't ready for those things. And that taught me my own boundaries. And so in learning my boundaries, I learned about myself. So those kinds of things. But keep in tune with your body. Because going back to that basic, beautiful machine that Source created for us to utilize and to live this life in, really never lets us down as far as our intuition and who we are. We always get those intuitive feelings in the back of our mind that something is the way it is. Listen to that. So your body, tune into your body. That's the first step in finding out who you really are and your own personal power and personality. And also feeling the joy. I in the observer of my situations and places that I would go and things I would do and people I would meet, I also tuned into when I had that joy bubble up inside of me. And sometimes it was something very simple. My dog would brush against my leg and I'd be like, oh wow, I really like that feeling. And so that's really how I learned about myself. It sounds very simplistic, but that's what we have to do. So I hope that helps. So the first step in learning to get to know yourself and who you really are. And if you have any questions or comments or feedback, please do them below, or you can email me directly on my website. I'd love to hear about it because this virtual community is all of us together helping each other with our obstacles and challenges. Thank you so much. I'm Georgia Rose, and this is Georgia Rose Connection. You can find me on georgiaroseconnection.com.